Alright, I stopped an assassination plot against the Queen, made strategic business investments, upgraded my gear. What's left? Oh, right. Duty calls. There comes a time in every man's life where he must choose, settle down, start a family, or hydrate 40 anime girls. But in The Last Sovereign, you can have both. That's why the game is like 150 hours long. You have to deal with 40 different hopes, desires, and needs, while also juggling deep political turmoil and complex combat. So really, it's like being a stressed out dad to 40 horny daughters. Anyways, what exactly is this game? The Last Sovereign is an early access adult RPG made in RPG Maker by one hyperfixated degenerate, but saying that does it absolutely zero justice. That's like saying Breaking Bad is a show about science. This game is definitely more than meets the eyes, but you'll have to stick with me for a sec. Actually, maybe I can speedrun convincing you by showing you what I think is the best misdirection intro ever to a video game. You actually start as the chosen hero on your way to defeat the Incubus King. You have a hot babe on your team, make choices to increase your evil or good points, kick every enemy's ass, are super mega cocky, combine your grape with the enemy's peach, typical adult RPG stuff. Oh, the Incubus King isn't here? Fine, I'll kill this general. Turns out that was like the 100th chosen one our boy Simon has almost died for, and he's getting real sick of their shit. Still, he escapes the general, who actually admires him, and dutifully returns to the church where he is assigned another identical chosen one. So he sets back out again, recruits another hot babe to help on their journey, but this time something weird happens. You're confronted by a succubus who shouldn't be this far out of the Incubus King's territory. You fight, but she surrenders, and then the altar beneath you activates, and Yara explains that somehow you're carrying the seed to become a new Dark Lord. Simon just needs some time to nurture his new abilities and build a giant harem. But that's a ways off, and Simon is rather hesitant to be the king of degeneracy, unlike me. There's not much time to think though, because the chosen one is choosing to grape that hot babe you recruited earlier. Turns out that altar corrupted her, and now she needs man meat or she'll die, but she didn't want the chosen one's one piece. So Simon says the coldest line ever. Let go of her, Tal. Who's going to make me? You? Are you forgetting who I am? I've been chosen by Yvala herself. If I want to fuck this slut like a cheap whore, no one can stop me, so just crawl back. That's enough, you little shit. How dare you speak to me that way? When we get back, I'm telling the— You won't. Holy shit, this is cool. So Simon kills him, and then Akka throws herself at him. While Akka might have been infected with sausage dependency initially, 5 seconds in, she breaks away. Suddenly, she's with Simon because she wants to be, and Simon follows her lead. He checks in with her. He hesitates. The game is asking the question, if you were forced into the shoes of the overpowered adult RPG protagonist, what would you actually do? Would you abuse it and become another evil ruler, or would you be as moral in the use of your power as possible and try to use it to better the lives of those around you? Anyways, after this, every single woman starts throwing herself at Simon, but he never just accepts it. He vets them and talks to them and makes sure they feel okay with it. It's not just press A to have your balls crushed, before her supernaturally intense pussy could overwhelm him. Guys, I swear it's good! Simon being an older, wise general is a super unique angle, since typically in this genre, the protagonist is, well, a young chosen one who doesn't know anything. There's a long sequence where he debates even using this power because it makes him so uncomfortable, which I think hits a little less hard after we find out that he and his wife had been engaged in a revolving door of couch co-op companions. But I'll share my thoughts on that later. What's important now is that you understand how unique these scenes are in an adult RPG. They aren't just the same woman but with different anime hair. Each one's a fully written person with skills, trauma, opinions, and goals. These are some of the most nuanced fornication simulation scenes I've ever played through, and it's also wholesome how many of these scenes are centered on Simon caring for the woman's pleasure. That's not the typical framing for these scenes in an adult game, and I think for once these scenes have the potential to positively improve a gooner's life and relationship with women. Even if none of this is landing for you, you kinda gotta admit it's good because it has fucking footstep sounds. Let's go! Okay, sure, the game has goonstick stimulation, but that's not exactly the main focus. The actual focus is on how Simon is gonna go from random soldier guy to defeating the super strong strong bad guy and saving the world. Riz skills are one tool to get there, but being a hoe can only take you so far, and it's not an easy or obvious climb to the top, nor is it obvious what exactly he should do once he's there. He's gonna have to do some strategizing and some pondering, and his anime women will help him along the way.
Just like I'll help you if you become a channel member for as low as $1 a month. Please help fund my therapy.
For example, a bit into the start, Simon decides he's gonna use these powers, but he can't do much for the world living where he does. So he strategically decides to kill the bar owner for selling drinks to vulnerable people. Damn, death to entrepreneurship, I guess. Simon then heads to the nearest market in order to get his money up, not his cunny up. There, he gets tied up in an illegal slave trade, and his anime harem helps defend him, provides their input on the course of action, and ultimately help maneuver him into a strong position. When they aren't encouraging grape. The game is full of these small steps and little victories moving towards the overarching goal of defeating the Incubus King and gaining power. But the reason I call this game wholesome is because gaining power is always done in a relatively moral way. Simon frees the slaves, he humanizes the orcs and takes care of them, and he vehemently refuses to do anything with children, though he does get with his adopted daughter. The morality in this game is certainly nuanced, and I'll leave most of it for you to explore, but I want to share this one scene that I think shows generally how moral issues are handled in this game. You meet an orc named Orsent with some level of consciousness, and after a while he politely requests you find him a willing woman. Later, you find a maid who was tricked into debt and is now being passed around between nobles at her upscale inn. Simon offers to get her out if she will go be with Orsent. See, now this is a tricky situation because while both Simon and Orsent wait and don't do anything until she's fully consenting, she's also stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, the situation she's already in is pretty dang awful. Is the one she's going to better? I mean, that's kind of her judgment call to make. And then you also sit there and you think about the time period, you know, would a better offer or would a better opportunity ever come around for somebody like this? So you're sitting there questioning your own morality, questioning the game's morality, you're just kind of questioning and confused, and this game is really good at that. Aside from the writing, this is one of the most mechanically complex games I have ever played. By that, I mean there is fuck-ass investment banking in this game that I could genuinely make Excel spreadsheets for. You have to decide what to invest your money in, and it's totally possible to make a bad investment and screw yourself. Additionally, each of your harem members has their own priorities and things they think you should invest in. So you have to do comparative analysis between businesses and between women, which really immerses you into Simon's character because now you really have to care and think hard about what matters to you the most. There's also army building mechanics, which I saw a bit of and which your investment decisions can have an effect on, and apparently territory management, which I did not get far enough in to experience. On top of all that, the combat in this game is really good. There's a ton of enemy variety and a ton of team combinations since you will end up with way more than 4 party members. Also, at some points you'll lose certain party members and be forced to discover new synergies or fight alongside characters you haven't really used before. Plus, since you're working with limited cash, you often need to make trade-offs between saving and investing your money or
I don't have weapons.
spending it on better armor and weapons. Another aspect of the game, which I think was huge for my enjoyment, was the fact that while you do need to grind, enemies don't respawn. So if you kill every enemy on the screen, you know you've done enough grinding. But you can also choose to skip a few and can gauge how far behind you are on levels by just looking at how many enemies are left. It's a super smart way to include grinding but not make it tedious, and the amount of strategizing needed in the combat and the enemy variety keeps things fresh and fun. There's also a number of optional encounters that are dramatically difficult but have huge rewards. The game also makes valiant attempts at other forms of gameplay like stealth, but it's kinda terrible. Like, this guy can definitely see me here, huge RPG Maker moment. What's also actually fun are the huge variety of side quests you can go on. This can be something as simple as getting new gear for a party member, which will influence how they feel about you in the future, or defeating a giant group of slavers to win favor with a priestess. Each of these side quests are found diegetically while you play. There's no huge list or quest markers telling you where to go. If you think, Simon would probably want to check out the church, it's an important location in this universe, and then you go there, you'll be rewarded with the priestess quest. Okay, let's pull it back to the main draw, the writing. This game does not offer easy solutions to problems, nor does it just say this character can do this because they're smart. Understanding how politics and wars work, which the game teaches you, is essential to to succeeding. I saw that even in just the 10 hours I played, but look at the wiki. There's a ton of player decisions throughout that don't have obvious outcomes and can have global consequences on the lives of everyone in the game world. Basically, the last sovereign has tricked the Gooners into thinking with more than just their mushroom. But even when it's mushroom time, it is absolutely insane how powerfully some of these scenes are written. Normally it's just, yup, this is great, but in this it's more like, is it actually great? And then a little bit of here's why it's great. I can't quite tell if this game is proposing an argument for polyamory, but it is certainly an interesting part of the game.
However, I will die on the hill that Simon and his now dead wife, having already engaged in their own Hollywood backroom activities in the past, dramatically lessens the emotional stakes of the harem building. Most players aren't in open relationships and need a bridge into this world, but the game never explores it from Simon's perspective, which is the player's perspective, so there's always a slight barrier between the player and those scenes. Other characters do feel conflicted, but while Simon cares for their feelings, he himself isn't conflicted with anything beyond I need their consent, which is good, but not enough.
There's a lot in this game that will disturb you, though not in the sense that it's gory or disgusting. It will emotionally and morally disturb you, and have you question your Steam library of Goonerschlop. This is what I want from video games, to be made uncomfortable and to be forced to confront ideas that I otherwise wouldn't have. It's really upsetting that even with only 10 hours of playtime, I have achievements that only 1% of players have gotten. More people need to play this game. If it can keep me engaged while still having default RPG Maker graphics, I guarantee you it's worth your time, because I'm more tired of those graphics than anyone else. Normally when I'm playing video games, I feel like I'm losing brain cells, but this is one of the very few where I feel like I've actually come away having learned something. With all the deep reflections on trauma, power dynamics, slavery, war ethics, gender roles, and consent, there's something here for everyone to grab onto, and it will get those gears turning. If you've played this whole game, please leave a comment with your experience. I want to motivate as many people as possible to check this one out. It is genuinely insane what Sierra Lee, the solo developer of this game, has done here. If anything is disturbing, it's her work ethic, truly something to be inspired by. Finally, this is the only adult game so far where I have been positively emotionally moved by an adult scene, though it was when I thought that he and his wife were just monogamous and very in love with each other. Damn, I'm vanilla. How did I find myself reviewing these games? Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.